Back in February, we welcomed two new additions to the flock, a pair of bearded reedlings. Then in April, the pair moved into their new home, a spacious natural aviary with plants and a stream. Now, as soon as we moved them in here, it wasn't long before they settled down and decided to start a family. So let's see how they've got on this past couple of months. Having taken just days to feel at home in their new aviary, the season began for the reedlings on the 13th of April as they began to show signs of nesting. In the days that followed, the pair began to construct their nest from dry grasses, cocoa fibre and fluff from the reed heads. Then, on the 18th of April, the first egg arrived. The number of eggs grew each day as the tentative parents kept a close watch. Eventually, the 6th egg was laid and the pair began to incubate. On the 2nd of May, 12 days into incubation, I noticed the hen acting strangely around the nest. As it turns out, she was now a mum for the first time. Both parents took turns in tending to the chicks, and Mum was super keen to keep the nest tidy by removing eggshells. These two precious little chicks were so well cared for, they began to grow very fast. Then before long, the chicks found their wings and took flight as they fledged the nest. And that continued throughout the season as the pair reared several nests of chicks with varying success. Now we've got to remember, this is a young pair of birds that have never bred before, therefore there were failures. It wasn't all fun, games and success. The birds did make a number of mistakes. They forgot to feed their chicks sometimes, or they didn't feed them enough. They also threw the chicks out of the nest in that first round after they'd been closed rung, but we have managed to make it successful this year with them. So it's September and it is the end of the season. They have stopped breeding. We have got 7 young birds in here with the 2 parent birds, and they are all doing fantastic. They're developing very well. We've got chicks between 3.5 months old to about 6 weeks old, so they're consecutive rounds and they are doing fantastic. So let's check them out. Something I think really contributed to the success of breeding the bearded tits this year has been the variety of food I've provided them. And just from a rearing perspective, in the first couple of days of the chick's life, they would get plenty, and I'm talking thousands of live fruit fly. Then from about 5 days old, the chicks would be given live pinkies, buffaloes, calciworms and waxworms, and that really helped them grow very quickly and had plenty of protein. And I also sprinkled a calcium supplement over this live food to ensure that the chicks could develop big strong bones. Something I discovered about the Reedlings after only trial and error is that they absolutely love grit. So I've been giving them oyster shell grit, some larger particles and some smaller particles, and they love it. So I've been giving them some large pots of it, and the parent birds in particular have been eating loads, but equally the chicks have been having some as well. And I think that's really helped aid their digestion. So they've got a really sort of optimum, ideal environment to digest their food. So they've actually been taking less food since giving them the grit, and that's gone down an absolute treat. Something else I discovered about the Reedlings is that they really don't appear to be fussy eaters. So I've actually been providing them with a couple of live mealworms each day just to help them bulk up the diet now that they're in the molt. I've been putting a vitamin supplement in their water just to make sure that they don't have any deficiencies, and it helps them grow nice, vibrant feathers and plumage. But also, just in terms of the food, I mean, other than the live food we've been giving them, they've been taking a red poll mix and a foreign finch mix very well. Of course, like we said, a lot of grit, and also a Unipetit soft bill mix. So this is like an insect-based egg food is the best way of describing it. They absolutely love that. And additionally, I've been putting a couple of fruits in here, some red currants and some plums, and they do enjoy picking at them as well. So I actually think in terms of the variety of food they get, it couldn't be any better for them. So there we are. We have 7 baby bearded tits that we've bred this season. They're all looking absolutely fantastic. The parent birds are still, of course, helping look after them, although it's very minimal now. They're getting fresh baths every day. They absolutely love that stream, by the way, always dipping in and out of there, and usually actually putting moss in there so it crams up my filter. So I'm having to clean the filter and pump every single day. But other than that, it's looking fantastic. I'm really hoping I might be able to get a couple on the show bench, but they are looking ever so friendly at the moment, and even some of them have just started to come to the front and even look to try and take some pinkies out my hand. So fingers crossed that might continue and we get a bit more luck with them soon if we can get them actually feeding out my hand. And a big thank you, by the way, to Green Feathers for the camera that we've got over the nest site. Actually, that was a fantastic addition that I got from them earlier this year. Having that there has allowed me to monitor the whole sort of nest building process and the breeding process without having to disturb the birds, and that's just worked so much in my favour. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we might have more success in future years. It looks like we might have a 50-50 in the male-female split, which is fantastic news as well. So hey, maybe a couple of pairs for next year. But if you have enjoyed it today, seeing how we got on with the bearded tits this year, make sure to subscribe down below, smash a like on the video, check us out on other social media, Instagram, Facebook and TikTok for daily updates and behind the scenes footage of all of our birds. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.